My name's Kevin White. I'm the sports scientist at Collingwood Football Club. My main area is probably GPS analysis, training loads, and providing the data on players' well-being to Butters, and then Butters will relay that on to the rest of the coaching staff and Nathan Buckley.
What, you never said hello to me for a couple of months. You say hello to me now because you...
Oh, The feedback that we actually get from the GPS ranges from the player's total distance, velocities, acceleration, the number of sprint efforts. So what we've got set up on the laptop now, readings of players' heart rate, high intensity efforts, distance and player load. Basically I'm trying to filter through as much data from every individual. Probably my number one job at the minute is just looking after the well-being of players and making sure that the information that the coaches have is precise and that they can make their judgment on who should play every weekend on the information that I dissect for them.
20? Yeah. You want to have today off or?
Yeah, no worries.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll rest, whatever. Hey, you got his PB and GPS at the weekend?
Kevin has a very important role. He's doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and we're doing a lot of number crunching and a lot of analysis, a lot of evaluation of the players, and provide me some with valuable information.
If you can do the GPS on those guys, that way we track their velocity and their volume, that would be great.
Yeah, look, sports science has an important part, not just in preparation and monitoring, but also projecting forward as well. So trying to identify certain trends of certain players and how they're actually tracking towards that pointy end of the season. It's crucial that we find out these players are starting to become vulnerable or susceptible to, say, injuries or an overload. So we use our sports scientists to be able to track some of those very important kind of characteristics.
So the players now are doing band assisted running. This will help them increase their speed and velocity for later in the training. I'm just keeping an eye now on the speeds and velocities of the players as they go through the more intense phase of the warm-up. So basically what I'll be looking at now on the laptop, I'll be looking at the top speeds that they get, the accelerations and decelerations of the players, and then the overall load. For Wednesday is game simulation. So Bucks and the other coaches will be looking for an intense session, short, sharp. So we can see here, bottom right of screen, number 10, Scott Pendlebury. So we've got a live feed of where the players are positioned in real time. And the parameters now that we're looking at is the odometer, which is the distance in meters. So you can see Pendle's now is up to 2.3. His B3 efforts is high intensity efforts. And then obviously we're tracking his speed. Alright, so Caelan Mooney, our fastest player now, is taking off. So he's hit 28 kilometres an hour. Moons would usually hit a max velocity of maybe 32 kilometres an hour. So we've just come to the end of training now. Some of the notable training contributions today came from Tyson Goldsack, covered the most training volume and had the highest amount of repeated efforts. Also of note, we had Alan Didak, who showed some more positive signs that he's developing well through his rehab, as well as Travis Cope and Chris Dawes, who again were well above average for repeated high intensity efforts today. So all in all, it was a good training session today, and we'll look forward to a big game now at the weekend. So I'm in a cab on the way to the Scotia Stadium, and there's about four and a half hours before the game actually starts. So the reason I'm going so early is it's the first time going up to Scotia. I want to familiarise myself with the ground. When we go into game day, I've got multiple roles. I firstly go out and set up the GPS out on the bench. So the one thing I'm looking at now is the roof. So I'm hoping that the roof won't block out the signal from the antenna, the GPS, so that's probably the one concern at the minute. Fingers crossed.
4-minute mark, Jerry.
Ready? Sit still.
Skoda Stadium, twilight match. Big afternoon for the Magpies in their surge towards September. Ball down to Elliott, roves it well, crumbs it well, hooks it around. Pretty good kick. Is it straight or is Cloak going to get there? It just went down on him quickly, but he's quick enough to recover. Got boots of ball. That's a goal. The kick is going to be a tough one for Palmer. That's a great bit of work to get across by Elliott. They do a lot of work on trying to...
Here we go, boys. You're ready to go. You can change. You stand up. You're ready. Stand up. You're ready.
And so another opportunity here for the Pies. This is Mooney, and this for his first goal in AFL football, in his third game. Not bad. Oh, not bad. Straight through, and he's pleased. He's got his first goal.
Hello, Moons.
Yeah, Moon. You all right,
I reckon Clokey's worked him over a little bit in the last few minutes. Speaking about working over, big finish from Beams. Over to Dawes, now Buckley, now Seedsman. He knew the Cloak was free, should steady, should straighten up, should kick a goal. Kicks his second, and that's reward for effort for him. Here they go, the Pies. For Solo from outside 50, sets it up, Cloak's got it back into it, over the top, he's not needed because he's there again. They might have time for one more. Need to mark inside 50, Cloak's got it, he's going to line up for goal number 6. Cloak from 45. He's got 6. And he's got the goal right on the siren. An impressive performance by the Magpies in the last quarter.
Fans was good today.
Yeah, look, overall, we were very pleased, and the work rate it's pretty impressive. The intensity and the accelerations was outstanding. A lot of the players got some high volumes in their running, so yeah, it was a good outcome. Yeah, look, we had some processes in place, and we achieved our rotations for the whole game, so we were very pleased.
The end of a pretty long day, but became what we ultimately wanted, and that was 4 points and a percentage boost and win. So I'm just in the middle of packing up the bag now. GPS analysis worked pretty well tonight. Rotations was good. We'll be on the bus in the next 10 minutes. We'll go back to the hotel and have a hydro session in the pool, and the boys will have some dinner. So yeah, next week it all starts again. 5 games to go, and then finals. So bring it on.
Well, tonight we're setting off around the city with the Salvation Army. We're going to hit a couple of spots around town, and with it being Jason bring a blanket week, we've got a couple of blankets as well, but we'll try and chuck some hot food around, and hopefully we can feed some hungry people tonight.
We've got a van that goes out 5 nights a week around the city and the inner city, and we hand out food and blankets to homeless people. So we see anywhere between 90 to 110 people a night, and we're also working really hard with those people, not just to feed them, but to also work with them and find out if they're ready to get a bed, and then we work hard to try and get them off the streets and get them somewhere safe.
Food for food?
Yeah.
We get you hot food?
Yeah.
Cold food?
No, the square meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name's Tino. I was born in Europe, and I've been in Australia for the past 2 years, and I've only been collecting for about 9 weeks. I'm here.
First stop we went to was a Richmond bloke, and he asked me why I left him. And he told me I was had some pretty bad form down there. I wasn't playing too well, I think. So that's why they got rid of me. But there's a few characters down there, and it's nice to have a chat with the boys and see a smile on their face.
Yeah, it's our last stop of the night. We've pulled up at Hungry Jack's, Swanston Street, just near the corner of Flinders, and it's probably the most charismatic crowd we've had through as well, a few characters down there. So a number of times I've been in the city, and the thing that I've noticed is, you never notice the people, and I think that the phrase has been thrown around, the invisible people, and I think that I've really realised that tonight.
My name's Sharrod, and I'm currently in transitional homelessness and trying to get my life on the right track, which I'm still in the process of doing.
Chips tonight, we're out. We've got chocolate though. Chocolate?
Yeah, they're pretty relaxed. See, they're smiling, they're happy, so you can't complain.
Sharrod and Andrew are an absolute credit to the club, and I think all the players that come out are an absolute credit to the club, and I think it's a really good indication of the terrific culture that exists at Collingwood, where players aren't just focused on themselves, they're actually really committed to the idea of using their influence and their contacts to have a really positive influence on the community.
The simple little things that we take for granted in life, like warm meals and going home to a nice warm bed and things like that. These people out here don't have that every night. Like I was saying to the guys before, we're just very fortunate that we can help out in a small way.
Yes, and welcome back to the club. Sharrod Wellingham joins us in the studio. Sharrod, that must have been a humbling experience.
Certainly was. It was enjoyable, but as you said, it was very humbling. We were out there. We went to 4 or 5 spots just around the city there, and yeah, it was a lot of characters, and it was a good bit of fun with Krakouer, but yeah, it was very humbling.
Now, you talk about characters. You must have met some really interesting people.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of people with interesting stories. People who bump into the street and you have no idea that they're going through some pretty troubled times. But yeah, like I said, they were great people, and they were very appreciative.
Now, 3 weeks out of the game, it's been a long time. How do you reflect back on that incident, obviously, with Cade Simpson?
I kind of tried to put it behind me and just worry about, getting the most out of myself out of the next 3 weeks, and the last 3 weeks, and then preparing myself for the 5 weeks leading into finals. We've got a big opportunity in front of us, and we'll be looking to make the most of it. I
want to talk about that more in just a moment. Did you manage to catch up with him at any stage, Simpson?
Yeah, I did. I caught up with him immediately after the game, and yeah, he was pretty shook up, and as I was, because I've never really put myself in that kind of situation before, and I just kind of said to him that I hope you pulled up all right, and nothing intentional about it, and and he said, yeah, it was, while he wasn't feeling too good at the time, he said, yeah, no worries, it's kind of what happens, and yeah, hopefully everything's all right with him. I can't wait to see him back out there. He's a good player.
He is a very good player. Now, from your standpoint, you've done your time, so fair enough, but at the same time, it must have been pretty frustrating for you, knowing that you're fully fit, raring to go, and spending 3 weeks on the sidelines.
It has been frustrating, and it's the first time I've missed through suspension, so it's, like you said, it's the first time I've been sitting on the sidelines, itching and knowing that I could be out there, and we'll try and make the most of it. As soon as I get back, I'm itching, like I said. I really want to get back out there, and done all the work, and I'm ready to go.
I want to talk about a bit of that work, some extra sessions with Butters, David Butterford, so that would have held you in pretty good stead, I imagine.
Yeah, I think, as much as it pains him, Butters loves these times when he can grab hold of one of the boys and put him through a few hard yards. But yeah, he's got a great support staff, so I've been doing a few extra running sessions down there, and it's been feeling like pre-season. But in saying that, I feel I've got my fitness. While it's always going to be hard to match fitness, I've been able to get the legs ticking over, and I've done a couple of bike sessions there, which my legs aren't really made for. But, the lactic build-up doesn't really help. But yeah, it's been good fun.
What sort of stuff have you? I mean, obviously you've done the normal training and then sessions on top of that. What sort of stuff? You mentioned some bike work. Has there been some other cross training that you've done?
Yeah, well, so Butters basically wants to try and simulate match conditions as much as possible. So that's, getting as tight as possible and then pushing you that extra 10% or so. So, like I said, we're doing bikes where, you're jumping off, you're going on sled runs, carrying weights and stuff like that, and then, jumping around, doing all sorts of exercises with kettlebells, and then jumping back on the bike, and just repetitive stuff. And so the body certainly feels it the next couple of days.
Now, the team has been up and down, inconsistent. I understand the group got together a little while ago to have a bit of a talk, inspired, of course, by Captain Nick Maxwell. What happened?
Yeah, Maxi's done it over the last couple of years. You know, when we get to this stage of the year, we realise the position that we're in and the opportunity that we do have, and you know, we just had a bit of a open-hearted kind of chat, really, I suppose. You know,
bit of an honesty session.
Well, yeah, an honesty session to a certain extent, just to kind of get everyone knuckling down and realising that, you know, we're nearing the pointy end of the season, and so everyone's got to be doing the right thing day in, day out, and yeah, it was a great chat, and the boys probably took a lot out of it, and look forward to the rest of the season.
Well, Sharrod, stick with us. Lots to talk about, including your housemate, Buddy Franklin. We'll get to that in just a moment. But as we go to the break, Coach Nathan Buckley's birthday just a few days ago. This was Daisy Thomas's little tribute.
It's Daisy here on location. Today's the day off for most of the boys, not for me. I'm filling in for Husey on Nova 100. Been here since 5:30, so I'm 3 hours in, 4 coffees down. Got Bucks up next. It's his 40th birthday today. Looking forward to asking him a few questions. How are you, Bucks?
Yeah, good days. How's everything going with Kate and Lawrence and Nat?
We talk about me having the tattoo of Mick on my forehead. Who's got the Nathan tattoo?
Who's your favourite?
I don't have favourites, Daisy. You know
Bucks, that's not true.
Yeah, but
You've got a favourite.
Oh, I'd like to know who Daisy thinks it is.
I'd probably reckon Sidey at the minute.
Yeah, Steele's a great man.
Yeah. Has there been a get-together for your birthday, and if so, did many of the players turn up?
Yeah, look, there was a bit of a surprise get-together on Saturday days. It was an organised social function.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
surprise.
Was it a good turnout by the boys?
Yeah, look, I made it compulsory.
Yeah. That's always a guaranteed way to see that people turn up at your party.
Yeah, look, I'm not an egotist, but yeah, no, I thought it was important that everyone got there.
Well, good on you, Bucks. Enjoy your big day, mate.
Happy birthday, Nathan.
Thanks, guys.
See you soon. All right, nearly done. Got about 10 minutes to go. Been a fantastic morning. Probably a couple too many coffees. The heart's racing a little bit. Hopefully I've done well enough to maybe get myself a job after football. Hopefully I don't have to worry about that for a little bit of time yet. So thanks for joining me. It's been a blast, and I'll catch you guys soon.
Collingwood has partnered with Kogan to launch the world's first branded TV. It's a 42-inch full HD LED TV and is just $449, the lowest priced LED on the market. The Collingwood TV is available online at kogan.com. And Sharrod, look at this, doing your best work, mate.
It's all a bit corny, isn't it?
How's that popcorn?
Oh, man, I didn't want to put it in my mouth. It's about 3 days old, I think.
Now, what about the TV? Crystal clear.
Crystal clear, yeah, no, it's a great collaboration between the two powerhouses.
Absolutely. Now, you've got one at home, of course, that house you share with Buddy Frank from Hawthorn. He's not happy about watching the Collingwood TV, but let's not worry about that right now. How did this come about? You're both from Western Australia. Have you known each other for a long time?
Yeah, Bud and I met when we were about 14 or 15, just back in Perth, and yeah, like we've remained mates ever since. You know, it was good coming over. I came over a couple of years after him, and he was pretty settled, and yeah, like same group of friends back in Perth who we regularly come over and crash at the house. So no, it's a good place to be.
Now, what's going on here?
Oh, Bud's got lots of pride in his car there, so he's making sure that the wheels are nice and shiny there before we go for a drive down Chapel Street, I think.
And now with the girls, just relaxing, mate?
Celebrating a friend of ours, their birthday. So yeah, we took her to a little bar in Richmond there.
And I noticed the photos with a few of the rugby boys as well, so nice little group you've got going.
Yeah, it's a nice group of boys. We spend a fair bit of time together, just chilling out, relaxing away, and you know what it's like. You hang around the same boys every day, you can get a bit sick of them, so it's nice having another group of friends away from the club. Now,
you share the house together. Do you do lots of things together? I mean, I understand you're going overseas holidays and all sorts of things.
Yeah, we spend a bit of time together, but you know, like I said, we don't work together. So when we come home, you know, we've got different schedules and whatnot. So, but yeah, most mornings we'll go grab a bit of brekkie together before we head off to the training, and then yeah, just a bit of FIFA and movies on the couch, I suppose.
Now, you were in Cleo Bachelor of the Year. Does that mean you got the higher profile?
Oh, I'd imagine so. Definitely over Buddy, don't I? No, I just don't think he was quite eligible enough at that stage.
Oh, is that the trick, is it? And you got a couple of dogs as well.
Yeah, we've got 2 little pug cavaliers named Samson and Delilah. They're,
Samson and Delilah.
Yeah, so they're cute little dogs, so yeah, they're running around out the back there.
Well, mate, it's been great having you on the show, the second most famous number 21 to ever play for the Collingwood Football Club, mate. So all the best this week.
Thanks very much, Chris.
Sharrod Wellingham joining us on the club. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you join us next week for another edition. Good night.